and welcome to today's Pick a Card General reading. In today's video, we're going to be asking Spirit, how do others see you? I'm hoping that this will be a real gas up sort of reading, something to help lift your moods, raise your spirits. I'm going to be asking how strangers see you. We're going to be looking at how your loved ones see you, and we're going to be looking at what makes you attractive to your romantic counterparts as well. So 3 different sort of things that we're looking at. I hope it will be a very fun reading for each of us. We have 4 groups to choose from today. The objects to help you decide which of these 4 groups you feel most called to are in front of us right now. So group 1, if you feel called to group 1, the object for you is this beautiful raw sort of quartzy stone that I found on the beach. It has featured in our videos before. It's got a little bit of orange, a little bit of red. I think that's what happens when they sort of calcify, and it was at the beach, so that yellowy color can be a rust color as well to show that there's a high density of minerals. Anyway, this isn't that kind of video. Group 2, you have the shell in today's reading. This, I don't know what kind of shell it was, but it used to have a hermit crab in it, and when I found this at the beach, the hermit crab was crawling out of it, so that was exciting. Beautiful memories. Group 3, you guys have this. It feels like a geode. I don't think it is, but it's that kind of rock that forms around geodes. So it has a beautiful energy about it, and this one actually came from the river from memory. It could actually be one that I brought to the beach, but I'll let you guys look at it and decide whether you feel called to this object. That is the object for group 3. Group 4, you have the Pyrite crystal. So if you feel drawn to group 4, the object for group 4 is the Pyrite crystal today. Fool's Gold crystal. So those are the 4 groups and the 4 objects. When you know which of these 4 groups you're feeling most called to, scroll down below to the timestamps and join me in your reading. Hi group 1 and welcome. If you chose this beautiful, what do we call this in the intro? I think we called it a beach stone, I think so, like a raw quartzy beach stone. Anyway, if you chose this gorgeous object, then this is going to be your reading. So group 1, we're asking Spirit, what makes you so attractive? I'm going to be asking about how others see you in terms of strangers, how your loved ones see you. We're going to also be asking how your romantic counterparts see you as well. So starting with strangers, I think I actually want to use this deck. I'm not sure why. Actually, we'll get a card from this deck and then we'll get a card from the other deck as well. Group 1, please, Spirit. How do strangers see group 1? How do strangers see group 1? How do strangers see group 1? We have prosperity. Okay. Bottom deck energy is strength. You know what? We're going to take it. Let's use this beautiful deck as well. My first time using this deck on this channel. With the oracle cards, I don't intend on using reversals unless I feel called to. So strangers for group 1, please, Spirit. How do strangers see group 1? How do strangers see group 1? How do strangers see group 1? Turn lemons into lemonade. Interesting. Into lessons, sorry. Lemons into lessons. Bottom deck energy is change one thing today. Start small. Wow. So group 1, what I can see straight off the cuff is that strangers see you as someone who is very resilient. And I find that very striking because these people don't know you, you know. These people wouldn't know you from, Adam and Eve. It's really incredible that strangers, without knowing anything about you, see you as someone who seems to be very resilient. You seem to be quite abundant. I feel like you have something about you that comes across as very strong and stern. I don't know if you come across as like a minority based on your appearance, but there's something about you that looks like you know how to brave the storm. Like, I feel like strangers see you as someone who is very strong, but it's not just about the fact that you can withstand a lot. It's about the fact that you have prosperity by turning your lemons into lessons. And it feels like you're the kind of person who isn't afraid of change. Strangers see you as someone who, you know, if there was going to be a random spontaneous zombie apocalypse in the mall or in the shopping center, everyone would follow you as the leader, as someone who is going to help them out of these circumstances. Strangers really see you as someone who is very strong, very resilient, and you seem to rise above the storm. You seem to be the kind of person who does turn lemons into lessons. I feel like you come across as very wise, and it's interesting because I think that for many of you who picked Group 1, I don't know if you're necessarily old, but you come across as someone who knows what they're talking about. I feel like the minute you open your mouth, people are very intrigued by what you have to say, and that's because they've already got this assumption that you are a resilient person based on your appearance. It's something about the way that you carry yourself, not necessarily how you dress, but the way that you carry yourself. It does feel like you have experienced things in your life that sets you above or apart. I don't want to say above, but it sets you apart from everyone else, and it comes across as a strength. It comes across as you are the kind of person who people want to know about. I do get this feeling that you are intimidating as well, Group 1. I think that strangers do find you intimidating. I think that certain people struggle to get near you. They're very intrigued by you, but they're also very intimidated by you. I'm hearing that it can be very confronting at times, approaching you. And I feel that maybe you don't get approached by many strangers, but the people who do have the courage to come towards you are very curious about you and really want to know very specific questions about you. I feel like people are very intrigued by the way that you dress yourself. Your appearance is very striking with these two cards. You have a beautiful shine about you that really sets you apart from other people. With the turn lemons into lessons, there is this energy of resilience in you that just comes through instantly, which I find so interesting. People won't know you from Adam and Eve, but you come across as someone who is so strong. And I really do feel like, especially in a workplace setting or in a study setting, you guys seem to be the ones like achieving, you know, like you guys in other people's eyes. I'm getting that people who know you, they might still be strangers, but they know you somewhat, like acquaintances, for example. There's this feeling of jealousy around you. I feel like some people are very envious of you because they know that you've had to fight or that you've had to experience certain challenges in order to be where you're at. But I also feel like some people do envy you, and they sometimes like to fantasize about leading your lifestyle, or they imagine themselves in your shoes, for example. So let's see how your loved ones see you now. How do Group 1's loved ones see them? How do Group 1's loved ones, see them? How do Group 1's loved ones see them? We have the 5 of Cups coming out, but it was slightly reversed, so I'm going to keep that in mind. How does Group 1's loved ones see them? The Empress reversed. Interesting energy. How does Group 1's loved ones see them? The Morning reversed. Oh my days, that hasn't come out for me yet in this deck. How does Group 1's loved ones see them? We have the Prince of Cups. And your bottom deck energy is the 7 of Cups reversed. Oh my days. Okay, so what I'm getting is that your loved ones, because they know you better, they understand that the journey a little bit more, okay? They have a very similar opinion to strangers, but attached with it is the narrative. And I am getting sorrow here. I'm getting a feeling of the people who know you really well know of your struggles with cycles and your mood, for example. I get for some of you that you may have cycles of depression. I just feel like the people who love you and who know you well know the hardships that you've been through, especially emotionally, and they're very impressed by the way that these circumstances don't define you, but they've helped mold you into this strong person. I feel like for you, your loved ones see you as someone who can turn your dreams into reality, They see you as someone who seems to have it all together. You have so many choices, you have so many options, but you're not confused by them. Your loved ones see you as someone who has a dream and fulfills that dream with purpose. Your loved ones see you as someone who overcomes their emotional challenges with grace, is what I feel. Your loved ones see you as someone who is human, but you don't let your human limitations limit you. With the Empress reversed, I feel like some of your loved ones kind of wish that you were more available to them, is what it feels. They see you as someone who has every right to be selfish, because I feel like maybe you have the tendency to be too giving sometimes, and they wish you did have firmer boundaries. But at the same time, you seem to be someone who people love being nurtured by as well. I feel like you do have an abundant energy about you. You feel very fertile. So I don't know if you have a lot of children or if you've created something quite abundant for yourself. But you seem to be very fertile in your loved one's eyes, and they do love your energy. They love your giving nature. But I also see that this has some sort of been something that was taken advantage of in your past, and I feel like your loved ones respect and understand when you need to pull away and when you need to isolate yourself. With the Morning here in reverse, it almost feels like your loved ones still feel like there's so much mystery around you. Like, I'm getting with this card an energy of they don't get to see your dawn. They might have seen you seem to be someone who struggles in private. So your loved ones also know that you're very resilient. They know that you're very strong. They know that you're very prosperous, Group 1. But there's a lot of curious energy around what they still don't fully understand exactly what you're going through. I feel like your loved ones know more of your narrative, but there is a lot of mystery around your emotions and how you do rise again, because I feel like there's almost a blackout period there. You seem to internalize this process, or you try to keep this process private, and then it's when you're feeling better, when you're ready to shine, that you come out again 100%. It's when you're kind of through that initial struggle that you start to open up about it again, when it's past tense rather than present tense. People feel like they kind of miss that sunrise with you. People feel like they don't really see the glow until the sun's in the sky, whereas they almost want to be a part of that sky turning pink energy around you. I feel like you are a private person, is what I'm getting, and I feel like you are a very emotionally private person, and people know that you seem to go through your challenges when it comes to your emotions, but you do it with grace in their eyes, and you do it in a way where it seems to be a very private process for you. Now, the other reason why I think the Morning card here is reversed is because, first of all, your loved ones know that most of you who picked Group 1 are not a morning person. I feel like they share a lot of memories of you, like later on in the day. You seem to be someone who brings a lot of light and a lot of energy into other people's lives. But you do have this energy of there's certain times of the year and the day. Like for some of you, it's in the morning, but it comes back to that energy of cycles. You seem to disappear for a bit, but when you come up again, people really value your presence, and you bring such a light and such a warmth to the room, to the event, to the situation that you're sorely missed whenever you're gone. And I feel like people are just waiting for you to resurface again after you leave. Now, with the Prince of Cups over here, your loved ones see you as someone who is very kind and shy at times. You present as this strong, resilient, somewhat well put together person to strangers, but your loved ones really do see you as someone who has a shy nature, a playful nature, a really good sense of humor as well. But there is this sort of privately shy side to you. For some of you, your loved ones want more for you, is what I'm getting. Like, they really do wish more love in your life. They want someone who can treat you well. I feel like your loved ones had to watch you go through a difficult breakup, or like a relationship that really changed you and the way that you see love. And your loved ones just want someone in your life who is going to respect you and look after you and treat you the way you deserve to be treated, is what I feel. It's almost like you have bodyguards around you that really like to, what's the word? Like, interrogate the suspects is what I hear. Um, but it's like they like to put them through trials before they agree that these are the kind of people that you deserve to be dating. You have very protective energies around you because people have seen you at your lowest and they don't want you to go back there. There's a lot of mystery over just how healed you are from your past experiences, and there's a big protective energy over you're actually, yes, you're strong, yes, you're resilient, but you're also this really soft, kind, loving, kind-hearted person. And I feel your loved ones, they see you as someone who is worth honoring and cherishing and protecting, and they hope that your romantic interests see you the same way. The other thing I can gather here with the Prince of Cups is that your loved ones do see you as someone who has a big heart and someone who does things with their heart. Like you show love in a very genuine way, and you make situations very sentimental. They really value the time that you spend with them, because I feel that for some of you, you have a level of success. Like you may have money, but it's never about money with you. Group 1, your loved ones value you because of the sentimental value that you bring into that experience. Even if it's an expensive experience, it's more about creating that memory and bringing everyone together. You seem to be someone who helps bring people together, which is why you are so sorely missed when you are gone. So let's see how your romantic interests see you. We're going to be using this beautiful deck. Oops. I think I want to pull 2 decks, actually. We'll start with this one. How does Group 1's romantic interest see them, please, Spirit? How does Group 1's romantic interest see them? Oopsie daisy. Ooh, obsessing reversed. Okay. Passion reversed. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm going to get 2 more, please, Spirit. How does Group 1's love interest see them? Look at that, 2 exactly. We have release. Oh my days. And we have player. Oh my gosh. Look at the bottom deck energy. Obsession. You've got obsession twice. Okay, so I'm going to be clarifying these with my own deck. But what I can see here, you guys, look at these. I've got the bottom deck energy over this side. Obsessing and obsession. You guys are so intriguing, and people who are attracted to you are terrified of you and what your presence means to them. It's like your romantic interests see you as someone who is very attractive, who is very much intriguing. Like you're very physically striking, but your energy is very intimidating, Group 1. I see here that people do have the tendency to get obsessed with you because you come across as very cold and very hard to read. When people are attracted to you, they try to curiously get your attention, and then they very quickly realize how intimidating it is to have your attention, so they try to disappear and play off their intensity. Some people rise to the occasion and then they quickly buckle, is what I feel. When people are very serious about dating you, they start to sort of ask you questions and get very curious about you, but there's a lot of like curiosity. Like nobody seems to know the core of you well. Even the people who love you are curious about like what you do in your free time. And it feels like here with passion reversed and release and player and obsessing, people are like, well, what do they do? Like what makes this person like this? How does this person? And it's not any one thing. I see that if people stick around, they're able to understand the hoops that you've had to go through, all the things that you've had to experience and become attached to only to release that have led to this situation. But I see that you're a very difficult person to read, and that can be a very intimidating experience for people who are romantically interested in you. I feel like the people who do survive are the people who are strong enough to hold a conversation with you. I feel like a lot of people get very intimidated by the attention that you give them, and they may leave the conversation realizing that they don't know anything about you. You've single-handedly managed to manipulate the conversation in a way where you're asking all about that person without them getting any information about you. People are very curious about your sex life. People are very curious about your dating world. Even your loved ones don't know if you're seeing anybody. I feel like It's a very big deal for you guys to settle down. You seem to keep your heart very, very close to your chest. And it feels like with the player card over here in reverse, a lot of people are curious. They peg you as someone who is either very, very like detached from the dating world, or someone who is like out here gaining all these private experiences. Like, even the people who know you well, they don't know anything about your dating world. And I feel like the people who are attracted to you instantly wonder like who your ex-lover was, or who else you're seeing, or like who you're interested in. There's so much mystery around you, Group 1. Strangers are curiously attracted to you and find you to be very intimidatingly resilient yet prosperous. Your loved ones are very impressed by the challenges that you've overcome, but they see you as someone who turns their dreams into reality, and yet you're a hard person to become close to, because you do disappear from time to time and you like to go through these new cycles alone, is what I feel. Your loved ones are also protective over you and really want you to involve the right people in your life when it comes to matters of the heart. They want to see someone who cherishes you and adores you and gives you the love that you deserve. And your romantic interests very quickly become obsessed with you because there's so much mystery around you. It's almost like people have the tendency to use you as like a fantasy. They take your image, they take your intensity, and they take your mystery, and they just turn it into whatever fantasy that they want. I see that you're a very hard person to read based on like a first meeting. It takes people a long time to get to know the real you, is what is coming across. So let's see what my deck has to say about your romantic interests as well. Oops. Oh, hello. How did that happen? You are wrong. That's interesting. Okay, I don't believe in coincidences, but let's keep going. Group 1, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? Group 1, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? Just one more. Yeah, you seem to be very ambitious, is what's coming across. But the difference between your ambition and everybody else's is that you actually do it. Okay, so there's a lot of messages here, a lot more than I was expecting. We have time to ground yourself as the bottom deck energy, which is what I was picking up on, Group 1. You are a very intimidating energy to most people, and your romantic interests, they either fail immediately or they have to like try harder. I see that first off, like you're only the strong prevail. It's almost like natural selection. If people aren't able to break through this exterior that you seem to have, then they just give up. Otherwise, they have to come back with a more serious energy and try harder the next time. It's a really weird way of talking about dating, but that's the kind of energy that I'm getting with time to ground yourself. Like I see people almost giving themselves little pep talks, little confidence booster conversations before approaching you, especially if they want to date you and they've been around you for a while already. You're an intimidating person to a lot of your peers. Now we have I am coming trust. Yes, slow moving energy. The people who are romantically interested in you, it takes them a long time to work up the courage to come towards you, but I see that this process helps you because in many ways, this is my Ace of Pentacles, so the only offers you do get are serious offers. Your energy you give off is come correct or don't come at all. And it's this energy that helps wean out the people who aren't necessarily serious and who aren't going to respect you in the way that you deserve to be treated. We have I am manifesting you, the Magician's energy. I do feel like the people who are interested in you for a very long time. It takes them a while, and they may feign confidence in order to get closer to you. It may take them a while to open up because they feel like you're not opening up to them as well. So I see that a lot of the people who are interested in you come towards you with masks in many ways, like the Magician, pretending to be powerful until you show them a level of humanity or vulnerability, and that gives them more confidence to be more compassionate and open and kind. It's like they're afraid to wear their heart on their sleeve. They pretend to be more powerful than they are. I also see with the Magician card here that people tend to have crushes on you for a very long time. They try to get to know you as well as they can before they start to sort of date you. And even then, some of them get very concerned that you don't see them in the way that they see you. I'm really feeling called to Mercury's energy here, and I feel like a lot of people who are interested in you wish that you would show more obvious interest in them to help them feel comfortable enough to open up to you. It's this feeling of wanting to know more about you, wanting to talk to you more, wanting to understand your mind more, wanting to really know what goes on in your head. Now, I'm also being shown the Ten of Pentacles reversed, so I feel like your family is very, very protective of you. Your family in many cases is a barrier to your romantic interests, group one, maybe to one person in particular who is trying to manifest an opportunity with you. They could feel like your family is a barrier protecting you from them. But I do feel like with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, people get a serious energy off you, and it's more of that energy of come correct or don't come at all. Like if they can't give you what you're looking for, then they aren't even going to bother trying because they know that you're just going to cut them to shreds. You have a very Queen of Swords energy about you, but you look like the Queen of Wands, you know, like you're so attractive and alluring, but there's a sternness in your eyes that tells people that they have to come correct or that you're going to behead them. We have the Ace of Wands coming out, so there's a lot of passion. I see here that a lot of people are very sexually attracted to you. Group one, you have a very physically attractive way of expressing yourself, and I see that there could be a very creative way that you like to dress that is very appealing to a lot of people. With the Ace of Wands here, I've got to be honest, people who are attracted to you spend a lot of time fantasizing about you or when they're alone, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that, but you can use your imagination to understand what that means, but I'm seeing something like literally like pulsating right now. We have I think so, yes, in the reverse, so there's more of that confusion of like, well, what do they think of me? How do they see me? I feel like you guys may have one person in your life right now who is interested in you and they don't know where they stand with you. You're a very confusing person to read. Spirit is saying you don't make it obvious to the people that you're attracted to, and so a lot of the people who are attracted to you spend a lot of time trying to read between the lines, trying to figure out, is this person into me? Like, do they actually find themselves, do they actually find me attractive? I feel like there's a lot of confusion, and a lot of it is because people are too afraid to ask you straight out. The usual sort of business isn't there with you, like where someone would be starry-eyed and sort of oohing and gooing over them, you're just kind of sitting there stone-faced. And I feel like to you it's very obvious, but to the people who are interested in you, it's like looking for like a piece of bloody white thread in a snowfield. Like it's very, very difficult. Now I also see the Ace of Swords reversed reach out, as well as the Five of Swords upright. I meant what I said. So I can see here that communication with you is very, very challenging. Your romantic interests find it very difficult to read you, and they often find themselves having to fight for your attention. I feel like either you're a difficult person to approach or conversation with you is challenging. I feel like you have a very unique way of expressing yourself, and to you it makes sense, and to the people who know you, they really value this about you. They love the way that you just seem to say it how it is. But I see that for people who don't know you, they expect one thing from you and they get the other. I feel like you guys aren't afraid to speak your mind, and I feel like that comes across as a barrier to people who don't have the confidence to express who they truly are in a first meeting. I feel with the Five of Swords here upright, you say what is right, even if it's not the popular opinion. And that can be very sort of, whoa, jarring to people who are interested in you, because it's not that you aren't interested in them. It's just that whatever they've just said is offensive and you're not going to let it slide. So if people don't have the ability to see past their egos, they do get very confronted by this, and they feel like it's you expressing a dislike towards them when it's actually you disliking their opinion on politics or on environmental issues or on red nail polish and favorite movies, etc. Like, some people struggle with that. I see that the person who is interested in you is going to love that though. Like the person who is able to give you what you want, and the person who is able to like see this challenge as really playful, fun conversation is going to be the person who you are very, very attracted to as well, because you like challenging conversations. You like thought-provoking sort of words and talking about things that are bigger than this whatever the hell is happening right here on social media, etc. I see that you have some very unconventional things that you seem to like to talk about, and that can be jarring to your romantic interests as well. So group one, that is what I can see for you. That is what how others see you. I hope this was a fun video. I hope it helped see things from other people's perspectives. I hope it gassed you up and reminded you how unique and incredible you are as an individual on this earth. Look after your wonderful self. Take what resonates, leave the rest for someone else. Do not let it take from you. And I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi Group 2 and welcome. If you chose the beautiful shell, then this is going to be your reading. So Group 2, today we're asking Spirit, how do others see you? I'm going to be asking for messages around 3 different groups of people. We're going to ask how strangers see you. We're going to ask how your family and loved ones see you. And then we're going to be asking how romantic interests see you as well when they're trying to get to know you better. So let's start with these oracle cards. We'll ask how strangers see you. So Group 1, please, Spirit. Group 2. Group 2, please, Spirit. How do strangers see Group 2? We have willpower coming out. Wow. Okay, a very strong first impression there. How do strangers see Group 2, Spirit? How do strangers see Group 2? Oh, I'm getting a little bit of like a, whew, okay. We have home. I think they're intense, okay? I think that some people come up to you and they're a bit too strong. Some people just seem to be too into you. Yeah, I'm seeing protection as your bottom deck energy in the reverse. People seem to gravitate towards you. Group 2, you give people a sense of comfort and home, and you seem to be a protective energy in people's lives that they seem to kind of want more of. Strangers get very drawn to you, is what I see. It can be very challenging. Excuse me. Kirk thinks the same. Oh my days. Kirk, go finish your dinner, please. Let's see how strangers see you. Group 2, please, Spirit. How do strangers see Group 2? We're going to use this deck as well. You're a very, instantly attractive person to people. You have a very empathetic nature, and I think that, unfortunately, that means that a lot of people cling and attach themselves to you as well. Group 2, please, Spirit. We have get back to nature and reconnect to your hippie roots. Yes, there's that beautiful empathetic energy. Tune in to your inner peace. Yes, you guys are healers, Group 2. You are healers. And people who are attractive to you, who don't even know you, know that about you. Look at this. Trust your intuition. She's always right. People who don't even know you know that you are an incredibly alluring energy because you have a healing ability within you. You guys are light workers, healers, etc. With willpower and home here, there is an energy of, I want to say that it's very intense, and I feel like strangers sort of come towards you with an agenda or a determination. You may get random people open up to you about very private things at very inappropriate moments. People may identify you as other loved ones, for example. They may come up to you and say, oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else, or you remind me so much of my daughter, or you look exactly like my son-in-law. Like that type of energy. They really do seem to gravitate towards you, and I feel that unfortunately it's because you have such an empathetic nature. In some cases you may be taken advantage of in that way. I see that people get very attached to you very quickly, and unfortunately you seem to get a lot of these one-sided conversations in your energy. I see here that you do have a very intuitive being, and I feel that you have a very healing presence. You're a very calm, quiet, collected person who is a good ear to listen to and a strong shoulder to cry on. Overall, these are very, very strong, positive qualities to have, but I can understand and appreciate how these qualities might unfortunately be taken advantage of as well. I feel like Group 2, you offer people the opportunity to say things that they may never tell other people. Like these people that approach you, they might come across as the kind of people who would talk to anyone on the street, but they're not. They just feel comfortable in expressing themselves to you, and I feel like that's very jarring of an experience for you because you know more about these strangers than those strangers' loved ones know about them. I feel like a lot of people find you to be very comfortable. You have a very warm energy about you that just sort of pulls them in, and strangers feel this immediately. I feel like you have a lot of people apologize to you as well. Like I feel like some people later might realize that they've over disclosed or that they've overstepped a boundary and the fact that you are a stranger. I feel like you're the kind of person that certain people just like to be close to. And if you have, personal boundary issues, you don't like that and you sort of have to pull away from them, but they just keep coming closer towards you. I also kind of feel like children seem to gravitate towards you. Either they're curiously attracted to you or they're horrified by you. Like you have the kind of energy where you're either really good with kids or you're too much of an open channel and you terrify them, and maybe they always cry when they're around you. It's not to say that your energy isn't comfortable, it's just that you're way too much of an open nerve for them, because remember, children are pure and they themselves are an open channel to source. So to have these two intense channels together, it can create very uncomfortable feelings within an unfamiliar vessel, like a child who hasn't experienced or understands what the energies are. All they know is that the intensity is building and it's just too much. So I see that's very interesting about the children as well. Now let's see how your loved ones see you as well. Group 2, please, Spirit. How do their loved ones see them? We have the Four of Swords coming out, more of that peace energy. Interesting. How do their loved ones see them? Group 2, we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. Yes, you're a giver. You're a giver, giver, giver. How do Group 2's loved ones see them? We have the Three of Swords reversed. You help people heal. Group 2, you help people heal. The Knight of Pentacles, excuse me. And the bottom deck energy is the Fool reversed. Wow. Okay. You're the kind of person who seems to carry everybody's secrets. You carry everybody's baggage. People confide in you, especially your loved ones. I feel like you have a lot of one-sided conversations with your loved ones as well. Your loved ones see you as someone who is very peaceful, who brings a lot of comfort, who brings a lot of, I'm hearing security, so that's interesting. I feel like people confide their secrets in you. They trust you with their private knowledge. I also feel like people see you as someone who seems to carry secrets. With the Fool reversed, it's weird that they think that you have baggage. Your loved ones see you as someone who isn't a fool. You have a beautiful sort of childlike nature to you. Maybe you're very fun to be around, but you also have a lot of experience and wisdom that doesn't make you as free and carefree as a fool normally would be. Your loved ones see you as someone who has baggage. With the Four of Swords, they see you as a very healing person, someone who offers healing to others as well. I feel like your loved ones value your opinion, but I don't think that you share it very often. I feel like they value more so the fact that you listen when they talk to you. With the Four of Swords here as well, people may think that you are someone who really prioritizes their sleep or their self-care is what I'm getting. But more so, I feel like people just love talking to you. Your loved ones also with the Six of Pentacles really see you as a receiver. Like you seem to really help everybody else is what I'm getting. And they see you as someone who's very selfless. You don't seem to ask for much in return is what they're implying. I also feel like despite all of this, there are people in your life who love you, who want more of your time. So I don't know, they're very curious about how you do these things. You seem to just give, to the point where people don't really know what they would do without you. You know, they really do feel like, I don't know how the hell you do it, but you seem to be the kind of person who just helps so many people in so many different ways. The ones that you love and care about, they don't know what they would do without you. With the Three of Swords reversed over here, it's an interesting energy. That was giving me the feeling that you help people heal with the Three of Swords reversed, but I almost feel like it's at the expense of your own healing sometimes, Group 2. I feel like, unfortunately, you don't have a lot of people that you can rely on or talk to when your heart's broken. I feel like you have very close friends and family, but I also feel like your love knows no bounds. You seem to give, and you're really helpful in that sense, but it's almost at the expense of your own healing at times. Your loved ones see you as someone who could give more time to their own healing, but they also see you as someone who likes to distract themselves by helping others and that's your form of healing. You know, you seem to be someone who doesn't like to sit still in that sense. Like when you're going through something difficult, you're the kind of person who cleans the whole house, who washes the car, who goes out and does everybody's food shopping for them, and you're the one who's organizing everything. Like you're very selfless, and that's almost how you heal as well, is through this way of helping others as well, is what I'm getting. Now with the Knight of Pentacles over here, it feels like people find you to be very dependable, very reliable. People see you as someone who they can turn to because you are always going to be there. I feel with this Prince of Pentacles as well, like you guys are a very slow, loyal energy. They know what to expect with you. And I'm not going to lie, Group 2, some people do take advantage of that. Like you might always be the first person who people ask for help from because they know what to expect from you. It really feels like with the Prince of Pentacles here that some people know that you're going to do the job well, and they know that you're going to do it without asking for anything in return, so they're going to ask you first. You're a very loyal, reliable, committed, dependable person. And I feel like what you say is what you do. It's all about quality of work, not quantity of work, though. So you guys come across as a very loyal, kind, giving friend. They see you as someone who's very successful. You may be cultivating something. You still have a youthful energy about you, despite everything that you know, despite your alleged baggage. You come across as very grounded individuals who seem to have their ish together. It feels like you do give, though. I almost really do feel guilty for you, Group 2, because I can see how people take advantage of you. And I think that your loved ones, it's interesting that they know this about you, and yet they do want more from you in that way. They kind of question, like, how much can this one person give? And I feel like you do have solid people around you who are aware of this and try to monitor this. But I also feel like there's still a lot of people who are aware of this and don't care to monitor it, you know? So it's interesting. I think it's very important that you see this about yourself and that you know how others see this about yourself as well. I'll see if there's anything else that I can see here from your loved ones, and then we're going to move forward to your romantic interests. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting a message that with the Fool reversed here, your loved ones wish that you would open up more and express some of the things that you're suppressing. It's like they want you to be more like yourself. You guys seem to do everything for everyone else. There is loved ones in your life, and potentially ones who have passed, who want you to embrace your individuality more, who want you to express your individuality more. They want you to really step into your own shoes. They really want you to be who you are and to do this with courage. But I see that you sometimes compromise these needs in order for other people, and it really feels like they want you to embrace some sort of reinvention. It's like you've been in a transformative process that has been very slow moving. They really want you to take this leap towards who you truly are. It's like you sometimes have the ability to get lost in other people's issues sometimes because you do seem to care. They really want you to open up and express who you truly are. I'm hearing show the world the real you, which makes sense because the Fool card is Uranus energy, which is linked to Aquarius, and in the Moonology Oracle deck, Aquarius's full moon is show the world the real you. So that makes sense for me. But I feel like those really strong people who are aware of how much you give and who are aware of your tendency to mask your pain by helping others, like that's how you gratify yourself as well. They really just want you to start doing more for yourself and to be more selfish and to really start giving more to yourself and being a bit more frugal over the time and energy that you invest elsewhere. Because I do see here that people just seem to cling to you and really gravitate towards you because you are so committed and loyal and kind. So let's see how your romantic interests see you as well. Group 2, please, Spirit. Are you going to finish your dinner? Go finish your dinner. Yeah, your dinner. Go finish your dinner. Group 2, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? How does Group 2's romantic interests see them? Risky love. I've never seen that card. How does Group 2's romantic interests see them, please, Spirit? A new beginning. Pretending in the reverse. And we have taking care of me. Yes, that is supposed to be the Nine of Pentacles, but unfortunately I see it as you take care of other people. We have bottom deck energy, find another route in reverse. I don't know if you guys say route. I say route. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to get more cards about your romantic interests, but we'll leave it at this for now. Excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink of water. So what I can see here, group 2, is that your romantic interests see you as someone who, for whatever reason, is, well, I mean, this isn't a surprise. This isn't for whatever reason. This is what we know. You're very stable. You're someone who offers people a lot of comfort with a new beginning and risky love. It's like, unfortunately, I'm getting this energy of in your youth or in your inexperienced days, you were the fixer. You were someone who broken people turned to in order to gain a level of healing and a level of validation that they may have been searching for. And I feel like, for whatever reason, you seem to attract all these like wounded birds who weren't interested in solving their own problems. It feels like all of these experiences, whether you feel like you've had a lot of relationships or not, or a lot of interest or not, it all was leading towards you understanding that if it's the right person who's going to be interested in you isn't going to want you to fix them. They're going to want to take care of you instead. I feel like, unfortunately, when you didn't have clear boundaries in your life, a lot of people would have come in and expected you to take care of them. But the person who you are meant to spend a lot of your life with is going to do the exact opposite. They're going to be attracted to you because they share similar qualities that you do, and they're going to want to take care of you instead. And the two of you are going to have this sort of relationship where you're able to have these honest discussions about, capacity and concerns over people taking advantage of one another because of your big gracious hearts and your empathetic healing abilities. You're going to have to kiss a few frogs in order to get your prince, is what I'm getting here, group 2. I feel like, unfortunately, you may have a very intense relationship in your younger years who seems to be the one for you. The two of you may even be engaged or married or have children together. Like, it gets very, very serious. But unfortunately, you end up being the one who seems to be doing everything in that relationship. You're the one who decides that you're boyfriend and girlfriend. You're the one that decides that the two of you are partners and that you want to spend the rest of your lives together. You're the one that decides, you seem to be the one doing everything, fixing everything, making everything happen. And that relationship isn't going to last because it isn't balanced. One person is really, really trying and the other person is happy to coast through in a security blanket. Basically, they almost use you as this comforting energy that is going to give them the life that they want. And I don't think that this is necessarily a bad person, group 2. I think that they have just become very complacent and they unfortunately take things too far without really taking back accountability and responsibility of their own actions. This frog's business does lead to a more substantial person who is able to see straight through the mask that you are wearing, who is able to see straight through this kind, beautiful soul, to understand that secretly all that you want, group 2, is someone who can take care of you. You're always the one who takes care of everybody else, and this person is going to make you feel like you can have this as well. You're going to hit a patch where it's going to be very difficult in between, and you're going to question, is it even possible for me to have a lover? Is it even possible for me to have a soulmate, someone who's actually going to take care of me? Or am I going to have to always be the one who does everything? And unfortunately, it may mean that you have to, have rose-colored glasses on for a bit too long and mistake your frog for a prince. But eventually you are going to find your prince, and they're going to be able to see straight through this beautiful empathetic side to understand that you're someone that's worth cherishing and protecting, is what I get. And I feel like the people who are attracted to you, unfortunately, do take advantage of you until the right person comes around. So let's see what my deck has to say about your romantic interests as well. Oh, excuse me. Group 2, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? How does Group 2's romantic interests? We have gossip only hurts more. Interesting. How does Group 2's romantic interests see them, please? We have no. Oh, my days. No. How does group 2's romantic interest see them? We have definitely coming out. How does group 2's romantic interest see them? Yeah, my gosh. These people, we have the 7 of Swords and Too Afraid to Talk reversed, and we also have I Think So Yes coming out. I'm going to shuffle these back. Can I get one more card and then a bottom deck energy for group 2, please, Spirit? How do their romantic interests see them? The 5 of Swords coming out, and bottom deck energy is they are waiting for you. That is the person who you were supposed to be spending your life with. So I can see here that your romantic interest, following on from what we were talking about before, unfortunately, until you learn to set your firm boundaries, until you learn that no is a complete sentence and you don't need to entertain everybody's opinion in order to offer people validation where they haven't given you a rhyme or reason to, I see that your younger years, your more formative years, let's say that, let's not label it chronologically, let's talk about these years as your formative years. Your more formative years are all about people and you learning about boundaries and people trying to seek validation from your presence. You are the person who's pulling people's hair away from their faces while they vomit and cry about their ex who cheated on them in front of them at the party that you're at. You are the person who tucks people in and pays for the cab ride home because everybody else is too intoxicated and doesn't have their wallets or IDs on them. You are the person who is always there to pick up the phone and listen to a one-sided conversation for an hour and a half. You know, you're that kind of person for the formative years of your life. And until you learn to say no, and that no is a complete sentence, your romantic partners do use and abuse this quality in you. You are very healing. You are very empathetic. You are a very good listener. You are very kind. You are very considerate. You are very compassionate. And I do feel that for some of you, group 2, this leads to narcissists being attracted to you. I feel that people are very quick to tell you what you want to hear, and they like to do this to win you over as well. As soon as they realize the kind of energy that you can offer them and the kind of life that you can offer them, people like to wear masks and pretend and say things that they think you're going to want to hear. I see that through your formative years, you do gain a strong level of discernment that really strengthens your intuition and helps you see straight through this. And for many of you, this happens very quickly. It doesn't lead to a lot of romantic experiences. This happens in your early childhood through failed promises from adults and family members. And it leads you to have a very sort of strict dating world. You see straight through people. And I see that a lot of people try to trick you because they want your kindness, they want your healing, but you develop this discernment through your formative years that makes it very black and white for you. And even if it does take a few years for you to figure this out, I see that it leads you to finding people who are not only respecting of these boundaries, but who are also aware of how precious you are and how to treat you in the way that you deserve to be treated. And they become very, very protective of you and open with you. I see that the right people, the people who you are interested in having serious relationships with, it's more so because of their honesty, because you have an ability to see straight through people when they're lying. So the thing that you seem to value most is honesty, even if it's hard to talk about with the 7 of Swords reversed. Your romantic partners, the ones who know that you're going to see straight through them, they become your partners because they choose to tell you the truth. They don't choose to dance around the topic or the conversation, however uncomfortable it is. These people tell it how it is, and they're the ones that are worth investing in on your side. I see that for many of you, you seem to have a lot of people who are interested in you, but I also see that you don't like lying, and if you don't like the way something sounds, or if you don't trust that it's a genuine level of affection that is being displayed, then you're not going to accept it. You have a very stern side to you that comes through experience of people taking advantage of that beautiful soft nature that you possess. So I see that you're very, like, all these experiences in your life of strangers coming and disclosing themselves to you, of family members, you know, unfortunately really overstepping boundaries, and early sort of lovers mistakenly putting a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, leads you to finding someone who is going to respect this intuitive side that you have, your ability to understand people without knowing people, you know, and they're going to be someone who not only supports this side of you, but wants to protect and cherish this side of you. This is someone who feels very, very significant. And I don't know why I'm seeing the number 23. So some of you may meet this person in your early 20s, but they certainly feel like they're a very impactful person. They could be in your life for 23 years, for example. But this is someone who nobody else is going to matter once this person comes in, because they simply know you and understand you well enough to know to treat you right and to know to protect that side of you as well. A really strong ally, sort of romantic interest / ally. It feels like a beautiful soulmate, group 2, who's just and is completely in tune with you and comes into your life when you have this level of discernment of knowing when to say no, because you have room for them then. It's almost like in your formative years, there is so much chaos in the way that people expect you to behave towards them because they pick up on your healing abilities, that it clutters your life for a while. And until you start to put those boundaries up and declutter your energy, you almost don't have room for this person. And once that energy is decluttered, this person is able to slot right in, and the two of you are able to literally just protect and honor each other in this lifetime, because they have that within them as well. They have the ability of being taken advantage of by people who expect too much from them. And you both point this out in one another and help each other fulfill each other's purpose and role in this lifetime without being taken advantage of. So group 2, that's what I can see for you. It was very insightful. I wasn't expecting to get a divine counterpart reading in here as well, but that is how people see you. That's how strangers see you. That's how your loved ones see you, and that's how your romantic interests see you as well. I hope this was fun for you. It was very fun for me. This is still a general reading. However, strongly it did resonate. So please, if something doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. Don't let it take from you. Leave it for somebody else. And thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you in another video. Bye, group 2. Hi, group 3, and welcome. If you chose this incredible rock, I think I got this from the creek, but I might have gotten it from the beach. At this point, I'm not too sure. I have an obsession. Somebody stop me. I keep stealing rocks. So group 3, if you chose that beautiful object, then this is going to be your reading. We're asking Spirit today, how do others see you? We're going to be asking how strangers see you, how your loved ones see you, and also how your romantic interests see you. Oh my gosh, why am I laughing? Oh, I'm so curious. So what's going on over here? What is going on with your romantic interests? We can't go there yet. We're going to have to start up here. There is something going on with your romantic interests though. I have a feeling you're going to be a funny reading. All right, let's start with strangers. Oops. Now, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I recommend that you do, because on Instagram, I like to ask people what they would like to see in our next videos. I sometimes hold polls. This time around, I just posted a picture and I said, please tell me, what do you want your next pick a card video to be? So if you would like to be involved in the process of this channel and choosing our next topic, then I do recommend that you follow me on Instagram. The link to all of that is down below. It's a very lengthy handle. Let's get back to your reading. Group 3, please, Spirit. How do strangers see group 3? Oh, this card came out when I was shuffling off camera. So we have life, purpose, and courage. Who are you, group number 3? People are very intrigued by you, is what I want to tell you. Group number 3, you leave a very strong impression on the people that you meet. Strangers are very intrigued by you. You're very physically attractive. There's something about you that's very, very physically attractive, with courage coming out. Leo, expressive, fun. You're a very fun but sometimes dramatic person to be around. I feel like people love conversation with you. People want to be around you. They gravitate to you. I feel a very strong Leo energy in this group. You're very, very attractive. I also feel with the life purpose here coming out that people are very curious about you. There's something very mysterious about you, yet it rings true. Like you seem to be a very much a trustworthy and reliable person is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing North Node, like just the compass is pointing north here. Bottom deck energy is closure. Interesting. You guys seem to be involved in a lot of people's lives. You have a lot of acquaintances in your lifetime. A lot of people become involved in your narrative. I can see with closure being your bottom deck energy that you seem to come into people's lives when they need you the most, like a fairy godmother, group 3. even if you have minimal impact on their lives, like this may be someone who you were at this, I was about to say an Australian word, what do you call it in other countries? Like service station? Is that what you call them? Fuel station? Gas station? We call them servos here. You could be at a store like that, you know, like a convenience store or something, and you're literally just there to buy a lighter because you're at home burning candles and you ran out of gas. So you go to your nearest convenience store, you ask to buy a lighter, and you say something to the person at the counter that makes them laugh. It brightens up their day. It makes their 12-hour shift 1,000 times less grueling. But to you, it was just a witty remark that just happened off the dome. Like, you have a very wonderful way of bringing light and love into people's lives. And these are interactions that you have daily, Spirit is highlighting. They're very minimal. And I don't want to say meaningless, but they're very minimal in terms of your impact, but they have a maximum effect on the other side. It means so much to everyone around you. People really do want to be involved in your story. And I see that at the end of your life, not to bring a sort of dampener into this reading, but if we were to bring like an archived book of every single person whose life you've touched, that book would be like I just heard thicker than a Snicker, so that's interesting. Let's not go there, but it would be incredibly thick. Let's just say that. Thick with 3 C's. Incredibly thick. You have such a way of bringing warmth into people's lives, and I don't know why. It could be because of your profession. It could have been because of, you know, your early life. Like maybe you were very outgoing when you were younger, or later in life you become very outgoing. You travel a lot. I don't know, but you seem to touch the lives of many people in your lifetime, and the interaction is minimal for you, but it has the maximum effect on the person who you're talking to. You have such a personable, warm energy, and people just gravitate to you in a very sort of positive way. You're very physically attractive. Strangers see you as courageous, and they see you as someone who seems to be in flow with life. Like you just seem to know things that other people are very curious about. There's a very seasoned energy about you. I feel like when you're younger, when you're more in your more formative years, people see you as a little bit of a lost soul trying to find their purpose. But once you're aligned, like nothing can stop you. You come across as someone who's very strong and someone who's very aware of like who they are and what they're meant to do in this world. So group 3, please, Spirit, how do strangers see them? We have write down your goals, dream big, and the bottom deck energy is trust your intuition, she's always right. Beautiful. That came out for group 2 as well. So what I'm getting here in the second part of this stranger's side, write down your goals, dream big, and trust your intuition, she's always right. You guys, you have a very strong inner compass. You are very morally in tune with, you know, what is right and what is wrong. And I feel that you're not afraid to express this as well. You have a very compassionate nature that doesn't see color, is what I'm hearing. But I feel like you're just the kind of person who, like when you care, you really care, and it comes through even to strangers. People see you as someone who is very expressive, and I'm getting very dramatic sort of energy around you. So I don't know if some of you guys dreamt of like being actors when you were younger, or if that's still a goal today, but it feels like you're the kind of people who like to wish upon a star. Like there's a very sort of dreamy energy around you. And I feel like strangers pick up on this. Like they see you as someone who, no matter how physically old you age, there's a part of you that is still a child, who is still very free and very expressive and very much connected to their inner child. Like you're just someone who really has nailed that part of living, always connecting to your inner child and making sure that they're happy and that they know what they want. Strangers are very attracted to you, and they really want to know more about you. Like I feel like people ask you about your previous experiences, and I feel like you always shock people with, you have this sort of carefree side to you, but there's also this side to you that has been through some real stuff, you know. And people who don't know you very well, they're always very shocked to know about the latter, because they see you as someone who's very carefree, and they mislabel you as someone who hasn't had a lot of experiences, only to find that you've been through some very difficult things. So it's very surprising to a lot of people who are getting to know you and who are still strangers to know what you've been through, to know what you've overcome. So let's see how your loved ones see you now. You might like to express yourself through colorful clothing as well. I feel like strangers love the way that you dress, the way that you do your hair. Some of you'd like to dye your hair different colors. Some of you just have a very sort of expressive way of presenting yourself, and people love this about you. So let us see how your loved ones see you now. Group 3, please, Spirit. How do their loved ones see them? Group 3. No way. Okay, this is interesting. We got a lot of cards, and a lot of them were from the last group. So bottom deck energy is the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. We also have the Prince of Torches coming out. We also had the 4 of Swords coming out reversed. We have the Emperor coming out reversed. Excuse me. Can we make some room? Okay. I think people like listening to your voice. I don't know if you're a singer, but your voice in general, like your laugh lightens the room. You bring a lot of light into the room. We have the 9 of Swords, speaking of light, oh my lord. We have the Fool coming out reversed. We also have the Lovers card coming out reversed. We've got the Hanged One coming out reversed, which looks like they're floating. We also have the Prince of Pentacles coming out reversed. So I wasn't supposed to get this many cards, I'm going to be honest with you. The other groups literally only got like 5 cards. You guys are out here breaking records and standards. So very interesting. Let me see if I can make some room without excluding anybody. No, that was wishful thinking. We're just going to go bloop. All right, so group 3, what I can see here is that your loved ones... You're a lot, okay? You have a lot going on in your life 90% of the time, and your loved ones know this about you. There's no coincidence that we have this many cards. You're a very intense energy. The people who love you always expect that there to be something going on in your life, okay? They see you as a very complicated person who has a lot going on in their personality. I feel like you have different sides to you. I feel like that is a trait that a lot of Leos possess. They can be very on, but they also have an introverted side. They could be present as very introverted, but they also have a very bold side. This is also a Gemini trait of the duality, the Pisces trait of duality. There's an energy here of you have different sides to you, and there always seems to be a lot going on in your life. People see you as someone who is very stubborn, okay? You may have a strong temper. Your loved ones see you as someone who has very strong opinions. Let's just say that to not get anybody in trouble. You have very strong opinions. You come across as someone who's always sort of trying to start new things, but you also get very stuck in old routines. I can also see here that you're someone who gets very easily distracted. You're a very passionate person. You seem to get very distracted by interests that come into your life, whether that's hobbies or people, is what I'm picking up on. This wasn't supposed to be a reading, but I feel like your loved ones, they've seen it all with you. They've been through a lot with you. They kind of see that you're impulsive at times is what I'm getting. You may be quick to make decisions that you sometimes regret later on. And they see you as someone who seems to kind of, I don't know why. They know that you've been through a hell of a lot, but they also feel like they only see the tip of the iceberg with you. Like, I don't know why. I feel like you do have some very strong confidants who you may even cry over the phone to when you're going through problems. But I also feel like there's even then there's a lot of shadows. They're saying that there's a lot of skeletons in your closet. So that's very interesting. That's another read. Can we get some positive remarks, please? The 4 of Swords reversed. Okay, let's talk about that. So your loved ones see you as someone who you seem to really push yourself. I feel like your loved ones have seen you go through some pretty dark moments in your life. These are people who you grew up with, potentially. They could be siblings, they could be relatives, they could be friends. It just feels like these people have seen you go through a lot of hardships. They've sort of seen you when you've slowed down, like when life sort of tried to slow you down, and you were very resilient. You tried to push through that. They've seen you take care of yourself, especially when other people weren't able to take care of you. I'm getting a sense of regret here. in that you have had to overcome a lot of odds that would have been a lot easier had you had the support of other people in your life, but specifically males. I don't know why. It could be a father who kind of wishes that they had done more, who is admitting that they potentially haven't done enough. But there's someone here that could have taken care of you better. And unfortunately they didn't, and you really pulled through as a strong person who was able to get themselves out of that situation. I feel like your loved ones really see you as someone who is constantly reinventing themselves, but you still have this childish nature to you. Like, life hasn't really, like, if anything, life has brought you closer to your inner child rather than away from your inner child. You seem to be someone who, like, you have every reason to be this dark, broody character who only wears black and who refuses to laugh and smile, but instead you are so connected to your inner child. You're the kind of person who, like, if I wasn't laughing, I'd be crying. Like, the story is so tragic that you have to laugh. You're that kind of energy. Life taught you to look at things half full rather than half empty. And I feel like there's a lot of sort of appreciation for the fact that you are the person who makes everybody else smile, even when you could and should, because you have every reason to, be crying. Now, I also feel like people are very curious about what actually goes on in your head. Like, there are some people who are, they're laughing about it now, but they're very, curious about some of the choices you've made in your life. And they're like, what went through your head then? Like, why did you do that? You're so impulsive. Why did you do that? It all worked out in the end, but, like, why did you do that? Why did you do that in the first place? I feel like people see you as someone who seems to run off like zero energy as well. I don't know if you just have a really busy lifestyle, or if like you got a lot of responsibilities, or if you just seem to be someone who doesn't do a heck of a lot of sleeping. People see you as someone who just seems to be running off fumes. Like, they're like, how are you doing this? How are you able to do this? You seem to be someone who is available to listen to other people's sorrow as well. Like, I feel like potentially, yes, you've relied on people by calling them and crying over the phone to them, but you're also reliable in the sense of, like, you do listen when people want to cry to you as well. I feel like sometimes you're not always available, I've got to be honest, because the Knight of Pentacles is reversed. You're not 100% reliable, but you are someone who will listen if people need that from you. Your loved ones also see you as someone who is, I mean, I've already talked about this, but they want me to bring it up again. You're very stubborn. You're very, very stubborn, and you're not someone to cross, because I feel like you hold a grudge for a very long time. You're at a point in your life where potentially you're trying to forgive and forget, but I think that there's a side of you that people just know, like, not to cross. Your loved ones see you as someone who is not worth crossing as well. Like, they know that now. You're someone who you don't forget easily. You may say that you've forgiven, but I can see here that your energy is very fixed as well. So let's see how your romantic interests see you now. Group 3, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? We have abandoned in the reverse. We also have a new beginning coming out here. We also have needing my freedom in the reverse. Oh, my days. Okay, I was picking up on that. I was. Let's get some more cards. Group 3, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? We have mirroring. Yes, you have that Gemini quality. Gemini people reflect the energy around them. They aren't two-faced. They reflect the energy around them, which is why they act different in front of their friends versus their workmates versus their college buddies. Like, they reflect the energy around them, and that's what I get from you. You reflect the energy around you. Group 3, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? We have passion. We know that. You have so much fire around you. We have comfort zone. I do get that energy. And we also have when the stars align. Yes, you're a dreamer. You're so connected to your inner child. Bottom deck energy for you is proposal. Okay, so listen, I'm hearing if you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it. When people break up with you, they know that it's going to be very hard to win you back. They find you to be very attractive, very passionate, and I feel like people fall for you very quickly because you're very intoxicating to be around. You're the kind of energy that people feel very comfortable around, but then I feel like you sometimes flip the switch, Group 3. I've got to be honest. I feel like sometimes you switch it up on the people who are interested in you, and potentially you show them a side to yourself that is very raw, that is very hurt, and that is a side that other people aren't prepared to see. What I'm getting here is that you do have some deep-seated abandonment issues of some kind, Group 3. This is coming through as father issues, but it may not be the case for a lot of you. I just feel like your romantic interests see you as someone who is very dependent initially, okay? Please don't get too triggered, but the people who are attracted in you see you as someone who is going to want a lot from them in the relationship. They see you as someone who is going to need a lot of attention and who is going to need to be almost like won over. Like, I feel like it's a whole show and dance, the dating stage for you. It's about sort of presenting you and presenting themselves to you and sort of having this big sort of event with you. Like, I'm getting that you guys, because you present as so sort of in touch with your inner child, and you can be the lightest, sort of brightest spark in the room, at times it makes people feel like they have to compete with you and your energy. They have to be just as bright to get your attention. They have to find a way to get your attention, full stop. Now, I feel like people really do become very quickly attached to you, but I also feel like people also start to freak out, and they get this energy of, oh, this is going to be too much work, and so they start to kind of bow out. And I feel like this is very frustrating for you, because I can see you going through a lot of dating sort of issues here, of attracting people who promise one thing and then do the other thing. I feel like a lot of people get very attracted to the passion that you offer them, to the comfort that you offer them, and then they start to freak out over the fact that you seem to be very distant out of nowhere, or you may start to put sort of expectations and boundaries on them out of nowhere. It's kind of like these things happen in your head all along, but they come out of nowhere to the people who are interested in you, and they start to freak out over that. For people who like to go with the flow, I see that they may very quickly fall into commitments with you, and you may have to find out the hard way that they weren't as serious about you as you thought they were. They were just going with the flow, and as you kept putting sort of boundaries and expectations up, they went, yeah, sure, I can do that, without having their heart and their energy invested in the idea of what this is. Like, before you know it, they're proposing to you, and you don't even know who the hell they are, for example. I really do think, Group 3, that there's a lot of sort of duality within you. There's two sides to you, at least. There's different facets to you, and this is a protective measure. Like, you like to protect certain parts of yourself that are more vulnerable, and this is a process when you're seeing someone of you kind of figuring out how serious they are about you. And I think that sometimes you kind of come on to them and it seems to be a completely different side to you that they aren't expecting, and it freaks a lot of them out. But I feel like the person who you are going to end up spending a lot of time with in your life, like a spouse, for example, or someone who you end up settling down with, they are going to be someone who you feel comfortable enough to open up to from the beginning. You aren't going to feel like you have to do the whole song and dance with them from the beginning. You know, it's not going to be like, I have to do the whole routine from the beginning. I have to present as this funny, charismatic, charming, passionate person from the beginning, and then out of nowhere, you know, when I decide to, I'm going to have to be more serious. This is someone who you're going to feel comfortable enough with to have those serious conversations with from the beginning. This isn't going to be someone who you feel you almost have to trick into a commitment. They are going to be someone who gives you that energy of, well, this person sees me for who I am. They want to know me for who I am, so I'm going to show them who I am from the beginning. I'm not going to pretend to be happy all the time just because I feel like that's what they want to see. I'm not going to pretend to be funny all the time just because that's who I think they want to see, etc., etc. I feel like you have this sort of song and dance show routine that you do to win people over when you're sort of still figuring out who you are. And you're going to find the person who you're meant to spend a lot of your life with, be it a soulmate, etc., because you're going to feel comfortable with them from the beginning. They're going to want to know the real you from the beginning. They're going to find you attractive, yes, passionate, yes, charming, yes, funny, yes, but they're going to want to know who you are at your core from the beginning, because that is who they see. That is who they are attracted to. Your energy to them radiates from within, not this exterior puppet that you control as you wish. they are going to want to know more about you. So I really do feel like your romantic interest, similar to your loved ones and strangers, they see you as someone who reflects the energy around them, and they see through all the layers of protection that you have around you. They want you from your core. The person, I want to say, who is really supposed to know you like that, they're going to want to know you like that. You aren't going to have to fight to show them the real you. You aren't going to want to feel afraid anymore. There is going to be initial fear because it's a lot. I feel like you harbor a lot of, inner sort of demons, I want to say, but I also feel like this person isn't going to be afraid of that side of you. They're going to want to know that side of you. So I just want to get some more messages from my deck about your romantic interests for group 3, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? Group 3. We have, you are so very special. Yes, you light up the room. You light up the room. Absolutely. You are so very special, so unique. There's a side to you with the number 21 that is both old and young at the same time. Like, you have the wisdom, the experience of that number, but you also have the youth and the longevity of that number. Like, you're so connected to your inner child, and yet you've really been through some hard stuff, and it's reflected in how people see you, and it's also what people are attracted to within you, because they can tell that you're not immature, but they love that you're a lot of fun as well. So how does group 3's romantic interest see them, please, Spirit? We have, I hope you'll wait for me. Yeah, some people see you as someone who they're potentially not ready for. You're very passionate. You inspire people is what I'm seeing with the 3 of Wands here. But I also get this energy of, like, maybe you have a lot of friends, a lot of people who are attracted to you, who don't seem to be able to, like, pull through when you need them to, They're very interested in you physically, but they're not able to kind of lock it down type of energy. You could relate to that if that resonates, you guys. I'm feeling like it does for a lot of you. We have the 2 of Cups. My life started when I met you. Yeah, a lot of people get very inspired by you. They see the fun, carefree side, and it inspires them to be more like that. I feel here that you really do connect with a lot of people in your lifetime. Literally going back to our initial message, if we were to get a categorized, archived book of all the people whose lives you've touched, it would be giant. It would be thick with 3 C's is what I heard. Group 3, please, Spirit. What do their romantic interests see them as? What does their romantic interests see them as? We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I want to start a family with you. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. I would do anything for you. We have I am terrified. And bottom deck energy is be more selfish in reversed. Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately, when you're still in your formative years, is what I was saying for group 2, your romantic interests do use the fun side of you to be selfish. And I feel like as people are potentially leaving you, they may sort of give you that information. They may tell you, like, look, this isn't what I thought it was. Like, I just thought it was this, or I just thought we were that, and I don't understand why you're coming in with all of these expectations out of nowhere. I feel like people fall in love with one side of you, and then they mistake you as this person without really understanding that nobody can be that person 100% of the time. It's a mistaken identity, and it's not your fault, group 3. Yes, you could be more open, but there's a reason why you weren't comfortable sharing yourself with those people. There were lessons in those relationships. There was learnings through those experiences. I feel like the right person is going to help you feel comfortable being yourself from the beginning. With the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups reversed, very potentially, you guys are going to have very serious relationships that would have, could have, should have been your everything. 2 specifically very serious relationships that unfortunately fell apart at the last minute. Potentially you will have children with someone from another relationship who isn't meant to be your lover for the rest of your life. And I see with the 10 of Cups reversed that you are going to fall madly in love with someone who simply isn't able to give you what you need emotionally. But these people are supposed to be stepping stones towards the person who is going to be able to see you and feel you and know you from the beginning. They're not going to mistake you for someone you're not. They're not going to want you to pretend to be your 100% person 100% of the time. That's so unrealistic and unfair. And I hate that for some of you, these people have told you that it was your fault for misleading them, because it wasn't. There's no way in the world that anybody can be like that for the rest of their lives. Now, I see that a soulmate is coming in for many of you, for all of you is what I want to say, but for many of you, this person, you have to be open and ready for them, and you seem to be the kind of people who always have a lot going on in your life. So this person may end up being a friend of yours for a long time before you're ready to actually start a romantic cycle with them. This person may come to you in your earlier years, but you end up friend zoning them because your life is just too complicated to have a relationship with them. Overall, what I can see here is that the person you are meant to spend a lot of your time with isn't going to make you feel guilty for needing to express the darker sides of your personality, the more raw sides of your personality, the more honest sides of your personality. Like, they are going to love you even more for being that open and that vulnerable with them. And they're going to encourage you to talk about the things that you're terrified about. They aren't going to make you suppress them or pretend like they don't exist. They're going to encourage you to talk about these things. So group 3, that's what I can see for you. That's how others see you. That's how strangers see you. That's how your loved ones see you. That's how your romantic partners see you. I hope this was an interesting reading for you. This is still a general reading, so please take what resonates. Do not let the rest take from you. And I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi group 4, and welcome. If you chose the Pyrite crystal, then this is going to be your reading. So group 4, today we're asking Spirit, how do others see you? This is such an interesting suggestion, and if you would like to be involved in the suggestion process in future, I do recommend that you follow me on Instagram. I hold polls through my stories, and I also just put up posts, which I started recently. I put up a post on Instagram asking people what video they would like to see next, and I just let people comment whatever they wanted. This was one of the suggestions, so a very big thank you to that beautiful person. I should have, now that I think about it, I should have screenshotted it and put it in this video, but I didn't ask for permission, so unfortunately I can't do that. Anyway, group 4. Today we're asking Spirit, how do strangers see you? How do your loved ones see you? And how do your romantic interests see you as well? So I want to start with the strangers because it gets deep real quick, okay? There's a heck of a lot that you can know based on a first impression, and that is what this reading is showing me. I'm very curious to see which of these 4 groups I personally fall into, and let's see how strangers see you now. Oh my gosh. I've been talking so much. That Gemini side's coming out of me now. My days. All right. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do strangers see group 4? How do strangers see group 4? We have psychic abilities. Excuse me? How do strangers know this, though? I'm so curious. How do people just look at you and go, yep, them? They're woke. They're 100% woke. Like, it's so curious to me that people can get so much off the first read. All right, so group 4, please, Spirit. How do strangers see them? Excuse me. How do strangers see group 4? Oops, hello. We see reconciliation coming out. On my days. You guys could be like readers yourself who help people reconcile romantic things through readings or some form of psychic support in that way. But with well-being being the bottom deck energy, strangers are very intrigued by you, okay? You have an air about you, to say the least. When people first meet you, or for example, even if they don't meet you, when they see you, they really do see that you pick up on a lot. Like, nothing evades your third eye. You really do seem to read the room well. They see you as being someone who's very passive, very reserved, but you have a very calming energy. The reconciliation energy here is telling me that you're very calming. You have almost like a stabilizing effect on people when they first meet you and when they see you in a room. I feel like you don't say a lot. I feel like you're highly observant, group 4. You just kind of hang back and watch people. And people are very quick to start to watch you as well because they think, wait a minute, why isn't group 4 saying anything? What's going on over there? What's happening over there? And I feel like similar to what I'm doing now, people tend to say a lot of stuff to you that maybe they don't want to say. I feel like people get a bit of word vomit around you and they forget, they don't really have a filter. They kind of find themselves telling you things that they haven't told other people, for example. I did pick up on that with another group as well. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do strangers see them? How do strangers see group 4? We have breathe in bliss, exhale bullshit. I love this card. I love that we can see the 7 chakras on her back. I love that she's got her back turned to us as if to say, like, I don't got time for this. Excuse me. I'm going to turn my back towards you because I'm out here meditating for myself. Bottom deck energy is your reality is a reflection of your inner world. People see you as incredibly peaceful, incredibly calm. Okay, you guys? You seem to be very passive though. They don't know a lot about you, but you seem to know a lot about them, and it does terrify people a little bit. You strike them as an all-knowing being. People seem to want to know more about you, but they're almost scared to ask you more. So I see people uncomfortably filling the silence with their own jargon instead, and before you know it, they've spent the whole night talking about things that they wish they hadn't said because it isn't a true reflection of who they are, but they're completely terrified by the fact that you're not saying anything at all. It feels like as people get to know you, they start to really appreciate the fact that you are a good listener, and they start to appreciate the fact that, you know, you're comfortable with silence as well. But I see that for a lot of people who just meet you, there's a terrifying side to you where you don't like to over sort of express yourself, and you're very passive. What else can we get off strangers? How do strangers see group 4, please, Spirit? I feel like people may unfortunately mislabel you based on when they first meet you with this, your reality is a reflection of your inner world. It's not to say that you don't have peace, but I feel like people, when they first meet you, they see you as that person all the time. They don't see you as someone who has different sides to them. And this may be at the detriment of, you know, they see you as someone who's just always quiet. Like, oh yeah, they're just really introverted. Like they don't like talking. They just stare at people all day. Or maybe they see you one day and you seem to be very, very happy and very in tune with the energy of the room and very expressive and very extroverted. And then the next time they see you, you're just completely observant and quiet again. And I feel like that's unfortunate, because if people do feel like they need to fill the void of silence, then they really end up mislabeling you based on their first impression of you. I feel like, yes, you value peace and you value your personal space as well, and you don't see the need to fill in the silence with unnecessary discussions. But I also feel like there's this whole other side to you that is very protective, similar to this bowl here, you know, similar to this crystal bowl or ball. People seem to kind of, it takes a little while, and if they're worth it, you'll show them that side of you. But if they don't take the time, then you're not going to either. Like there's a whole other side to you that people can have the opportunity to embrace as well, but a lot of strangers don't see that. They're on the outside of the glass looking in. So let's see how your loved ones see you now. Group 4, please, Spirit. You're a very seasoned soul, group 4. When you were younger, you were probably called an old soul. You're very, very seasoned. My nose is itchy, oh my days. You're very intuitive. You're very aware. And you're very in tune with the collective energy as well. And I feel like you've had to be like this because of, you know, some of you didn't even need to, but I feel like you're at this level now in your life where you just don't have time for bullshit, as this card says. You don't have time for people who are going to waste your energy. It's not to say that you hold grudges, because reconciliation here is saying that you have a very warm, open, accepting energy to you. But I also feel like, you know, if you can avoid that, then you are going to. You have a level of discernment here that knows, you know, which people or personalities or energies are worth avoiding. And if you can pick up on that, then you're going to avoid it. It's like you don't mind reconciling, but I'd rather skip the challenge altogether and just go to someone who isn't going to hurt me to love me type of energy. So let's see how your loved ones see you. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do their loved ones see them? Group 4, how do their loved ones see them? We have the 3 of Pentacles coming out reversed. You're a very private person. You're a very private person. How do their loved ones see them? They're showing me the Queen of Cups reversed, highly intuitive, very psychic. The Prince of Swords reversed. You're not impulsive at all. You're a very well thought out person. I feel like a lot of people don't really know what you're thinking. You seem to be someone who lets other people do all the talking. You're not hasty at all, is what they're saying. You're very calculated, very thoughtful, not overly expressive. Your loved ones are saying the same thing as strangers. Isn't that interesting? You have such a presence. Even if you're passive, even if you're quiet, you have such a presence, Group 4. How do their loved ones see them? How does Group 4's loved ones see them? We have the Three of Swords coming out reversed. I feel like you're in a constant state of healing and reflection. You're always trying to avoid conflict, in the sense of sometimes it's necessary, but if there's a way to expand and grow without unnecessarily hurting yourself or extending yourself, then you're going to do it. Bottom deck energy is the Mage reverse, the Magician. Interesting. Underneath that, I'm seeing the King of Cups. So you have dual energies within you. People see you as someone who is very masculine and very feminine. You aren't afraid to speak your mind when necessary, but you aren't just going to share your mind with everyone and anyone. You're a very private person, even to your loved ones. They see you as someone who is very careful with their time and their energy. Maybe you're really good at saving as well. I don't know why that's coming up, but something about your money it being taken away, like holding back. I don't know, maybe you've started a new endeavor with your money as well. I'm not too sure why that's coming out. But the Three of Pentacles reverse tells me you're a very private person. You're very careful with who you spend your time with. You might have a very small circle of friends. I feel like your loved ones feel treasured and honored because they're far and few between these days. I feel like you've been through a process of culling people out of your life. You're a very seasoned soul, is what people are telling me, Group 4. And with the Queen of Cups here reversed, you are highly intuitive. You're very psychic. You're very aware of energies and emotions. And I feel like you're a hard person to read because of this. I feel like you don't share your emotions with everybody. It's either a secret with you, hard to read, or you're an opportunity for other people who love you and care about you to tell them how they feel. Like, it's interesting here. I feel like your loved ones see you as someone who is very compassionate, but there is a secretive side to you that you seem to keep to yourself. Yeah, you're very, very loving, but nobody seems to have your attention as much as you do, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I feel like your loved ones are very proud of you for who you are. You seem to be on a very much a self journey right now. At the time that you're seeing this reading, you're looking at yourself a lot, which people aren't mad about. It's very hard to get close to you now, though, emotionally especially. I feel like you're not an easy person to emotionally manipulate, which is a good thing. This isn't a bad thing at all. The Prince of Swords reverse tells me you're a very patient person. Potentially you give people a lot of chances, but it's because you let them basically dig their own grave. Like, if they cross you, then they're very aware that their actions led them to that moment. You have a very passive approach to your relationships that leaves a healthy amount of responsibility on the other person's shoulders. So good or bad, the ball is almost always in their court. You don't overextend yourself easily. I see that it's very obvious to the people who you end up cutting out of your life that you did that for a very specific reason. Like, people aren't left wondering, well, what happened to this person? Either you just lost contact with them, or they did something very obvious to offend you and to wound you. I can also see here with the Three of Swords reversed that your loved ones see you as someone who seems to do a lot of healing privately. Like, there's a lot of privacy around you. I want to say, you guys, not a lot of people know a lot about you, okay? You're a very private person, and you let other people do all the talking. You keep a side to yourself just for yourself. You're on a very personal journey right now. And with the Three of Swords reversed, it's like people are very curious about what goes on in your mind. I see that sometimes people say things that they end up regretting because it kind of leaves them wondering, well, where do I stand with you? And this is something that your loved ones think. Like, even your loved ones are like, I don't even know who this person is anymore sometimes. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have just told them that because I don't know if they are even in the mind of wanting to hear that. Like, that's the kind of things that they ask themselves. It's not a bad thing, but you come across as this all-knowing being that does intimidate people, in the sense of people are afraid to tell you the truth because they assume that you see the truth anyway, especially with the Magician as the bottom deck energy. People can't come towards you with confidence. I see that a lot of people come to you when they literally are at their wits' end. they don't even bother lying to you. Like, people are very, very honest with you, and your loved ones are very, very honest with you as well. I see that this is very frustrating at times, because I can also see that some people just don't even bother coming to you if they're not feeling 100%, because they can't pretend that they are, and two, they feel guilty for burdening you with some of their stuff. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going through something, but group 4 doesn't need to hear it, so I'm just going to cancel today's plans, and I'll give myself time to figure it out, and I'll reconnect with them when I'm feeling better. Like, that's the kind of energy that these people have towards you. Even though they love you, they feel guilty for burdening you with their problems, because it's like, well, group 4 wouldn't be in this situation. I don't want to burden them with my problems. That's the kind of energy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know who you are, but you are apparently all that in a bag of chips to your loved ones. Your loved ones see you as someone who really doesn't sort of give back as much as they seem to give to you. I see that they value being around you because you are so difficult to sort of pin down and have an equal sort of exchange of energy with. So when you do reach out, and when you do choose to open up, and when you do choose to invest more time and energy in conversation, they really, really, really appreciate it, because they realize that they almost give too much to you, and that you seem to take on everything in the relationships as well. Your loved ones are very much like, they admire you, they look up to you, but there's so many question marks around you and who you are truly, and how you achieve the things that you achieve, and what you do when you go home, and what does that person even eat? Like, what do they do? I see that they've lost weight, but how do they do that? You know, like, all of a sudden this person's got a different car. Where did that come from? Like, who are they? There's so much mystery around you, and that's because there's a side to yourself that you keep just for yourself. Even your loved ones don't seem to know this side to you. So let's ask about your romantic interests now. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? How does Group 4's romantic interests see them? Ooh. Ooh, we have holding off. You guys, listen, this is going to be so frustrating, but you are so discerning and all-knowing that people do feel intimidated by your energy. And I was picking up on this in another group. I might have been group 1 actually, so that's funny that we've ended with you. But group 1's energy was very different. Yours comes from an energy of, I can't like mess around with this person. Group 4 is serious. They see straight through me. They are a very powerful energy, and if I'm going to come in, I can't come in with bullshit, and I've got to be very honest with them. So a lot of people who are interested in you, they're very much like oh, wait a minute. There's something else going on here. Where's the trick? Where's the trick? You are a catch, Group 4. You really are. And people who are romantically interested in you, they take their time with you because they don't want to step a toe over the line. They don't want to accidentally do something that's going to make you cut them loose real quick, is what they're saying. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? How do their romantic interests see them? Excuse me? We have when the stars align. Isn't that interesting? For some of you, you're waiting for a very special person and you don't care if it takes forever. That's what's coming through. Let's get more cards. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? Hello? I'm afraid. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. How dare I? But isn't that everything that we were talking about? You're intimidating. Okay, sorry. That was a sore spot. They're confiding in us. I shouldn't laugh. I'm so sorry. Group 4, please, Spirit. How do their romantic interests see them? There's a very, very, oh my gosh, wounded masculine's energy here who is very much appalled that I laughed at them. Oh my days. Okay, sorry, sir. As you were. Group 4, please, Spirit. How does their romantic interest see them? Desperate attempt. Okay, thank you for your honesty. Fixed. Oh my lord. Bottom deck energy is I'm coming for you. Okay, wow. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry I laughed now. Yeah, okay. So listen, Group 4, you have a divine counterpart. You are that kind of energy, okay? Whether you believe in twin flames or upper level, high level soulmates, you have a divine counterpart in your lifetime who 90% of you have already met. This person and you are very much aware of each other. And the idea of this person's energy is that when you're in your passive power, they are incredibly attracted to you. Any reason for them not coming forward stems from ego-based insecurity. On an energetic level, the two of you are intended to come into union. And I don't talk about these terms lightly. I have to address it when I see it. And I'm in this general reading, in this video, where it was supposed to be fun and lighthearted, this message has decided to come forward. There is someone in your lifetime, Group 4, who is meant to come in exactly when they mean to, even though it feels like the wrong time. It feels like the right person, the wrong time. They come in to help you awaken to this stern, passive, powerful side to you. Their presence in your life instigates an energy within them as well that awakens at the same time that you see them. You help them see past their ego-based insecurities to gain a level of confidence within themselves, to gain a level of action within themselves. It helps affirm to them that they can trust themselves and that they can take action towards the things that they feel are meant for them. And you are one of these things. You are one of the most important things, is what they're articulating. But I feel at the time that there are suffering from confidence issues. Now, this person, they are a cut above the rest. You are going to have a lot of people interested in you, okay? People who are interested in you romantically sense a serious energy about you. And I feel that Divine protects you from a lot of these people who, previous to you awakening, would have been suitable suitors. But after you awaken to this ability within you, you aren't going to be interested in them. They're the kind of people that you eat for breakfast. They don't have the substance that your soul needs, the nourishment that your soul needs. You are a very, very evolved soul, okay, Group 4, and you are, unfortunately, it's going to be a lonely experience. You'll know that. If this is 100% your group, you'll know that. It's going to be a lonely experience because you need substance that 95% of the world lacks. And it is about you sort of, unfortunately, how do I word this in a better way, Spirit? I don't want to make this sound like a horrible experience. I want to say that once the two of you do come together, it is all going to make sense in hindsight, but there is a painfully lonely experience in the middle of you having to accept and surrender and release. And that is honestly the part that is really, I'm trying not to focus on, but that is a part that seems to really stand out, because it seems like forever, even though it's not. I see here that there is a divine counterpart who is trying, but they need to do things right. So they have to kind of do what they have to do, if that makes sense. And the logistics of it is going to vary for each of you. For some of you, this person, they have to work on their confidence by validating themselves through other 3D experiences. They have to realize how detached their soul is to this reality. And in order to do that, they have to become aware of their attachments to this reality. They have to go through other experiences, other relationships for some of you, in order to understand that none of that really matters. And then what they are left with is this base soul whose ego has died and who is more susceptible and able to understand what they truly want. It's almost like when you first meet this person, they are so attached to their ego's desires that they aren't able to hear what their soul is calling for. And the two of you awaken something in one another that takes you different periods of times to hear. It's like you two meeting helped strike two chords within each other. And where you hear that chord towards this part of your life, which seems to be very much about your psychic abilities and your intuitive abilities, and the idea that every interaction is an energetic exchange, and not every energetic exchange is worth exchanging, for example. So that means not every interaction is worth your energy. This person has to learn that their cord is trying to tell them that this 3D world is so much more than what they see, hear, feel, and taste, and that their soul is calling them towards something with more substance, with more meaning, and that if they listen to that chord, they are going to feel how to address the void within them. But I see that for some of you, this person really struggles to let go of their 3D world. They really rely on their 3D world to fill that void, and they struggle to see what their soul truly needs. So it will vary for each and every one of you. It is a very divine journey, and there's a lot of loneliness in the middle, because I see the divine trying to pull people away from you who aren't meant for you, and I see your soul pushing people away from you who aren't meant for you, because you know that there's no substance in that interaction. You know that there's no genuine connection there. And even though the old you would have happily entertained that person and their charms and their wit, their soul simply isn't evolved like yours. So I do see here that your romantic interests are you're very fixed on this one divine counterpart whose energy needs to catch up and evolve to your abilities. This person is your divine counterpart for a reason. No one is less than the other, but one has evolved faster than the other. And when the two of you are ready and resonating and vibrating at the same energy frequency, that is when the two of you will be able to align. It's not about the stars. It's about embracing what the fears are trying to reveal in this situation. It's not as impossible as waiting for the stars to align. There is no fixed date, because it is determined upon the consciousness realizing why the fear is so strong in those moments. And honestly, like, fear serves a purpose. To our 3D senses, when we're afraid, we run. You know, when we're afraid, we fight. When we're afraid, we freeze. But to our soul, fear is trying to show us something that needs to be addressed, something that is trying to reveal something to us. Like, fear serves a very genuine purpose. And I feel like this person's fears initially strike that feeling of freeze, fight, run, you know. Over time, they start to realize why they're so afraid and what that fear is trying to tell them. So let's get some more messages to close your reading. Group 4, please, Spirit, what does their divine counterpart see in them? We're not even going to bother about the other people. Let's just cut to the chase here. For group 4, what does their divine counterpart see in them? Yeah. Wow. What does their divine counterpart see in them, Spirit? Yep. Yeah. Can I get one more, please? Thank you so much. That was way more. Oh, sweetheart. You matter. You do. You really, really do. Even if they're saying, even if my actions don't always reflect that truth, you are worth every penny this world could possibly manufacture. You matter. Your divine counterpart is saying you matter. All right. Let us address some of the elephants in the room. How does your divine counterpart see you? First of all, they're saying that your family won't like me. Your divine counterpart is focused on the 3D limitations of your connection in the beginning. They see boundaries. They see differences. They see the fact that collaboration is required, effort is required, equal give and take is required. They see that potentially there is a challenge here that they are required to overcome in order to be in union with you. They see a lot in you. For the 4 of Cups to come out, what do you want? This person, your divine counterpart, sees a lot of affection here growing quite rapidly in a short period of time. And what they're concerned about is that it isn't reciprocated. What they're concerned about is that potentially someone here has options and an extension of love is going to be rejected in order to entertain other options or in order to maintain a certain lifestyle. This person is afraid of rejection. and they see someone who is potentially very secure, who is very satisfied with themselves, what could they possibly add? Is this person going to get bored of me? Is this person going to want me in the way that I want them? What does their group 4's divine counterpart see in them? Yeah, confusion. A lot of strong feelings, a lot of strong feelings very quickly. Confusion over, do you even see me that way? Your person's feelings for you grow very strongly, very quickly. Don't doubt that. Their actions aren't a true reflection of how they feel for you, group 4. We're also being shown I'm open to compromise. This person may pretend to be your friend for some time before they tell you the depth of their feelings. This person genuinely cares, and they label you as a soulmate very quickly. They feel a kindred energy within the two of you. They want to compromise here. They want to know you better. This person is very curious about you, and they may want to friend zone this connection so that they don't lose you, full stop. We also see reverse. So this person's confusion for you, it hits a point where they become very clear. Like, I literally see an epiphany moment here, but I see them needing to go back through the interactions that the two of you have had, group 4, in order to understand why. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I make that happen? Why did I think that in the first place? There's a lot of energy of needing to kind of go back and work this out. And I feel like I'm literally seeing like somebody going through like a filing cabinet of like catalogs and archives and needing to understand things better. This person's ascension and awakening seems to happen very quickly once they gain an epiphany in this connection. Your divine counterpart is very sure about you, but there's still question marks as to why. Why did I do that? Why did they do this? Why did this happen like that? Why did it have to be like that? Once they get this epiphany, it all happens very fast. We have I want you. I feel like the 8 here is reversed, because your divine counterpart sees you as someone that they want, but they can't have. And that presents in a lot of circumstances where we are forced to see that a lot of our limitations aren't real, you know? A lot of our social constructs, a lot of our ways that we function in society aren't real. The limit does not exist. I want you, but I can't have you. We're also being shown you are wrong. Your divine counterpart sees you as someone who is quite stubborn, who's quite strong, who has very firm boundaries. You're a hard person to read, but that's because they initially didn't push hard enough. We are being shown, please give me time, I've never felt this way before, the 9 of Swords, which tells me that this person receives an epiphany about you, and I feel like this happens very quickly in terms of their awakening process. It's what I was talking about. This person dreams about you. They're very connected to you mentally. The two of you seem to have a very strong connection from the beginning, is what I want to tell you, and they're being showing me telepathy. There's in the sense of like a very strong mental connection. The two of you really share the same thoughts, is what they're trying to insinuate. I feel like your divine counterpart wishes that you could have just told them all of this from the beginning, but your behavior is a direct reflection of their behavior, and that is a very confronting image in their head. Where you didn't show them and tell them, they failed to show and tell you as well. And you will resonate with this message if it is meant for you. Do you think about me too? The Ace of Swords in reverse. The amount of times they're saying, the amount of times I wish I would have reached out to you. The amount of times I wish I would have just told you what was on my mind. This person has written many internal letters and messages to you. This person talks to you a lot in their head. This is the kind of person who you are going to connect with instantly. You don't even need to tell them how you feel for them to know how you feel. This person feels like they can read your mind. We're also being shown love is the answer. That's how your divine counterpart sees you. Your divine counterpart sees you as a very kind, caring, compassionate, worthy of love person, but they feel like you internalize 90% of what you have to say. The number 9 is very significant in your reading. It keeps coming up. We're also being shown wrongful advice in reverse, which is the Hierophant card in reverse. Your divine counterpart sees this connection as something that has its obstacles, something that has its boundaries, but it becomes a lot easier and a lot clearer of a process in terms of union with you once you stop feeding energy into opinions that no longer matter. Not every 2 cents matters, and the Hierophant reverse tells me that initially Your divine counterpart was valuing the opinions of people who don't matter. Love is the answer, and I wish I knew that from the beginning. So group 4, that is what I have for you. I got to cut it there. My days, you're my longest reading. I wasn't expecting you, and yet I low-key was, because there's always a group like you. You're an old soul. You're an evolved soul. I'm sending so much love and light to you on your journey. Please only take the messages that resonate. Do not force the rest to fit. You are the creator of your destiny, and you deserve all the love that this wonderful world can muster. Sending you so much love and light on your way, and I can't wait to see you in another video. Bye, group 4.